When he's not working, you can generally find him with his daughter. Milani is now 10. Mike is a father figure to little Leo, too. He's just 4. Family photos reveal everyday life, celebrations, and even baptisms.
And here I am now with, my life on track and standing on a firm foundation. Here I am facing losing everything.
Losing everything because prosecutors waited more than 3 years to charge him. And at this point in time, more than 4 years have rolled by.
I've been a public defender for over 31 years, and Michael's case is definitely rare, in my opinion, and pretty extraordinary.
He called Mike the exception, but the federal prosecutor asked for detainment, saying it's not personal, it's just the business of the law.
I actually had a lot to say about this video and still do, quite honestly, but I just decided, man, I'm gonna put it out here and let you guys interpret it for yourself. But I did already make a video for this and I didn't like it, for whatever reason. But if you want to hear my extended thoughts on this topic, man, I'll leave that in the description below. Other than that, I'll let y'all check out what's going on in America. Trailhand Bill, reporting live from rainy South Florida, y'all.
A local family calls it a tragedy. A father who has turned his life around is back in prison.
Prosecutors are following the rules. The question is, what is justice here? Here is investigative reporter Angie Riccono.
Come in, bring it in some.
Mike Enriquez helps former prisoners get their commercial driver's license. He's been doing it for years since he got out of prison. It's the goal of the program, pay it forward.
If you can save one, that one can save others. And that resonated with me.
It wasn't always this way. Mike has former drug, theft, and DUI convictions. He has spent more than half of his adult life locked up. The most recent conviction was for being caught with a weapon. He was sentenced to 75 months in prison. Mike was out on supervised release in 2020 when he was caught with drugs, so he was sent back to prison.
In my mind, he was just a bad guy, and I told my wife several times, I'm like, I just hope somebody sticks him when he's in there.
Mike's ex-father-in-law wrote to KCTV5 about drug charges. The night in question was actually before COVID. Mike was sent back to prison for the drugs, but it was considered a violation of his supervised release. Formal charges came more than 3 years later. In the meantime, that ex-father-in-law became a huge supporter of Mike.
He's different now.
Mike has an honest job. When he's not working, you can generally find him with his daughter. Milani is now 10. Mike is a father figure to little Leo, too. He's just 4. Family photos reveal everyday life, celebrations, and even baptisms.
And here I am now with, my life on track and standing on a firm foundation. Here I am facing losing everything.
Losing everything because prosecutors waited more than 3 years to charge him. And at this point in time, more than 4 years have rolled by.
Why wait till after they've rebuilt their life to take it all away and have to do the whole thing all over again?
We want them to rehabilitate. We want them to join society and be productive members of society, and he's done that.
For years, he's done that. He's gone from being a tax burden to a taxpayer. It leaves Mike's supporters questioning, why now? Mike has the same question.
You want the person to be rehabilitated, to be involved in their kids' lives. When I'm doing all these things currently and have been doing all these things, it doesn't feel like it would be the just thing to send me back to prison.
We were there at a recent hearing in federal court. Mike's bosses were there too, hoping a judge would listen.
I want the judge to know that, if you feel you speak for justice, let it be for justice, but also to help save people's lives.
When they change, you still have the old rules. It didn't make any sense to me.
We reached out to the U.S. Attorney's Office for an explanation. They declined to make a comment, but point out this is within the statute of limitations, and COVID delayed some charges.
It sounds more likely that this was a low priority and it was at the bottom of a pile and it eventually got to the top of a pile.
We checked in with Peter Joy, a legal ethics professor from Washington University.
I just think it's unjust. If the government is going to bring charges against someone, they should bring them close in time to when they have sufficient proof to prove the crime.
Weeks later, Mike made a tough decision.
Today I'll be pleading guilty, and I'm responsible for my actions, so I'm just holding myself accountable.
Mike pled guilty to a lesser charge of possession with intent to distribute. Mike's public defender asked the judge to consider release until September sentencing, where he will argue for probation.
I've been a public defender for over 31 years, and Michael's case is definitely rare, in my opinion, and pretty extraordinary.
He called Mike the exception, but the federal prosecutor asked for detainment, saying it's not personal, it's just the business of the law.
He was taken away in handcuffs, yeah. It's kind of sad to let somebody out and really make it and then pull them back in.
After years of turning his life around, it ends where it started. Mike is back behind bars. Mike's public defender focused on the positive. Later charges meant Mike had the time to connect with his family and turn his life around. He's hoping a judge can take that into account at his formal sentencing. He faces up to 20 years in prison. Angie Racono, KCTV5 News.
Who is it a secret to that the business of American law used to be legally terrorizing, I started to say Negroes, human beings? I mean, hell, it's 2024, centuries after that, decades after that. The business of American law is still legally terrorizing human beings. So when this guy says it's not personal, it's the business of I mean, that's the problem that we have with you guys. Your business is terror. I'm not gonna say a whole lot, man. Praying for this man, his family, you know. It's a lot of lessons to be learned in this situation. Unfortunately, there are many eyes that will only see those lessons and level them to one side. I don't think this is how we should treat Americans. It's one problem I have with our prison system. It's not a prison system, it's a slave market. It does not indulge or invest in rehabilitation. And when people who find themselves in it, justly or otherwise, try to rehabilitate themselves, we see many times the challenges they face. And this is just unfortunate. I don't know what else to say about it, man. On one hand, you have a group of gang members who can do no wrong, no matter how murderous they are. And then on the other hand, you have American citizens. We just trying to live, dog. Y'all just keep declaring war. The leaders of our justice system, gatekeepers of civic servitude, destroying America to fulfill business obligations. You cowards are amazing.
You want the person to be rehabilitated, to be involved in their kids' lives. When I'm doing all these things currently and have been doing all these things, it doesn't feel like it would be the just thing to send me back to prison.
It's gonna be a lot of us that agree, homie. Hell, even your ex-wife and in-laws. Dear Americans, please don't be confused. Ex-convict or not, these cows gonna terrorize everything you love like it's their right and responsibility. Ask Tamir. Ask Valentina. Ask Wyatt. Hell, I would tell you to ask these cowards why they think terrorizing the American public they're supposed to be serving ever made any damn sense. But I already know the answer.
It's not personal, it's just the business of the law.
And having that type of moral compass is why personally I don't trust none of you mother. Thank you if you made it this far. If you liked the video, feel free to hit that thumbs up button. I greatly appreciate it. If you care to go a little further than that, maybe even subscribe, hit the notification bell. Check out a few of the other videos on the channel. Either way, y'all be safe.